Catch a ball with the president, dunking on his delegates. Then I compliment him on his political etiquette. Toss a couple million in the air just for the heck of it, but keep the vibes.
All right, you're welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I had to play that song because this next segment on Across the Aisle is a beautiful one. We're talking about finances, and I have my beautiful guest in the studio with me. And we're twinning. I just noticed we're wearing green. Yes, good morning, sir. Good morning. It's great to have you here with us on this segment Across the Aisle. Our guest today, Mr. EMMANUEL BASSY. He was the strategy director at Canary Point Holdings, a financial group, and also consulted for startups across East and West Africa, focusing on market entry strategies, financial inclusion within the microfinance subsector and the financial ecosystem. Currently, he serves as the managing director at Assets Microfinance Bank. It's great to have you on the show, sir.
Thank you very much. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
Great.
You are welcome. So now let's talk about finance. Why is finance considered a crucial aspect of personal and professional life?
Finance is literally everything that activates how you spend your money, right? From the time that you wake up in the morning and every decision that you're making about your money is,
yes.
That's why finance is critical. I mean, when you wake up and then you put on your lights, and that's money getting spent on a daily basis. And if you do not budget well, and you can run out of electricity, right? So finance is pretty much critical. And
all right.
Finance literally helps you go ahead, spend right, live right, and also use your funds right, basically. So that's why it's very, very important. And it's important to understand that finance is not the same as money. Money is one thing, finance is another
thing.
Yes, certainly.
Oh, we needed that clarification.
Of course it is. Money is just a tool. Finance is how you spend it, right?
Yes. And
how you ensure that money that comes into your hands works well for you. How you ensure that the money serves your purpose, right? So that's why the awareness of finance is very important. And it's not just for bankers or accountants or financials or whatever. It's for everyone. As long as you are living, breathing, you need to know how to make money work for you. That's why it's critically important.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bassy. What role does finance play in shaping our lifestyle, relationships, and overall well-being? Now, this is critically on finance life, in our everyday life. What role does it play?
Of course, finance helps you get what you want, right? You earn a particular amount of money, and you desire a particular lifestyle, and you know for a fact that money that you just earned can get you that lifestyle right away.
Yes.
So that's where finance is activated, because with finance, you have to learn how to budget, right? You have to learn how to determine what money you're going to spend per time for a particular purpose, right? And when you do that, that's when you can save, you can invest, and then it multiplies till you get that thing that you want. So you just need to know how to spend, plan, and organize your funds, and that way you can meet your needs or your wants if you have it. Right?
You have to know how to learn, plan, and organize your funds. Now, this is like a whole, discussion on its own. How do you learn? How do you plan? How do you organize your funds?
So there's not one person in the world that has too much money that is enough for their needs if they don't plan, right?
True.
And that's why you keep hearing people say multiple streams of income, right? Finding ways to make more money so you can get as much as possible, get things that meet your needs, right?
Yes.
So once you have a certain income, so you find a way to invest. Investing is important. If you don't invest, you probably cannot get to the point where you are financially free, right? So you have to find ways that your money works for you to the point where you can get whatever you need to get at the time that you need it, right? So get your money, find ways that you multiply that money through maybe compounding interest, of course. And the first thing you need to do before you start thinking about investment and the rest of it is getting knowledge.
Getting knowledge.
It's important.
Very important.
You need to know what you're putting your money in. You need to know how it works. You need to know the way it works and ask yourself critical questions of, if I lose this money, what happens to me? Would I start over again? And then that's what helps you make a decision on, should I put this money here? Should I keep it? Should I spend it? And the rest of it,
Okay, thank you very much for that, Mr. Bassy. Now, making a better and less risky financial decision. What strategies can individuals use to make informed financial decisions and minimize risk?
I think it links to what I said earlier. Simple.
Okay.
Get knowledge.
Get knowledge.
It's very important. But whenever you want to put your money into any business, you understand the tenets of it, in and out, and then that's when you can make a decision. And then ask yourself, if I lose this money in this business, what happens to me? And that helps you determine what level of risk you can take, right? I mean, you have to take some level of risk in business, right?
Yes.
But you need to understand that if this business goes down, will I go down? And that helps you to say, okay, I either stop or then calculate your risk and then diversify, if you will, right? So get knowledge, understand where you're putting your money in, understand what it will get back to you, and that helps you reduce your risk. If you understand the business, you've already reduced your risk by 50%.
So you need to understand the business, understand where you're putting your money into.
Of course, yes.
Don't just put your money.
You don't just wake up and feel it's interesting, let's do it.
Yes.
In fact, if it's too interesting, just know there's a problem. There's anything that's too good to be true is just too good to be true.
I mean, talking about Ponzi schemes and all of that, we just put in our money. We don't even know the risk attached to them and all of that.
And we have people who have high tolerance to risk. They just want to put as much money as one. They just feel like, okay, I have 1,000 naira. I can put it here. I can get 2,000 naira in 2 days. Just know it's wrong. So it doesn't work like that. But money, you have to take money. You invest it somewhere, it multiplies, and then it comes back to you in interest and the rest of it. So that's why you take your time, study the business, study what the money will work for you, understand your returns, and then you plan accordingly, and then you know that from that returns, are you reinvesting or are you taking a part for yourself? And that's how you keep building wealth, because you take the money, so you invest, and then some investment includes compounding, so your interest gets reinvested again, and then that's how you build wealth, basically.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much for that. Now, don't forget, you can join the conversation via WhatsApp or SMS. Send us a WhatsApp message on 0906-2023-907. 0906-2023-907. Or send us a text message on 0906-2024-907. Now, still talking about finance, managing your finance. What are some effective ways to manage finances, including budgeting, saving, and investing?
Managing your finance means creating a strategy to defining how your money works for you. And then, which you've just mentioned, you just talked about budgeting. It's very important, right? You need to be able to track your income and expenses.
Track your income.
A lot of people do not understand. They just spend. There's a whole lot of emotional spending. You just walk a store, you see a beautiful bag, and you're buying. And there's a ripple effect that comes from that, because you spend money that you didn't plan to spend.
That's like buying what you don't need.
Exactly, and then you now start thinking along the line when you need what you actually needed the money for is not available. You then start asking people to support to help you. So budget is important.
This is very common.
Sometimes, sometimes you just need to check your phone, see your debit alerts, and just see if you'll be shocked at how much rubbish you spend.
Seriously,
right?
You can say that again.
Right, and then budgeting helps you tells you what kind of vehicle would I take out of the house this morning? Am I putting fuel in my car? Am I getting a ride-hailing app? Or am I public transport? That's what budgeting helps you do, because you know how much you want to spend on transportation, you know how much you want to spend on food, on clothing, even on charity. People need to understand that you have to budget charity. You want to help people budget it.
Yes, you have to budget that as well.
Yeah, if you don't budget it,
I learned a new thing today.
You're just going to end up spending money you don't have, because people need help. Families will call you. Everybody will call you, but if you budget it, it's easy for you to just say, okay, this budget is for this is for emergency, and it helps you control your money. And of course, pay yourself, right? Whether you're a business person or you're a salary earner, the money that comes in is not all yours. There's money for people pay tithes, there's money for your kids, your home, and then of course, create a budget for yourself. That way, if you want to splurge, you're splurging the budget you created for yourself, and that helps. And then you determine the percentage that goes into investment, right? You've got to invest your money. You can't just earn every month and something is not going into multiplying that funds. Find a very verifiable investment house, like assets, for instance, and then keep investing and creating wealth for yourself. And that's one thing that we do in my bank. We find interesting ways to give you monies that is safe and backed by the Central Bank of Nigeria.
Oh, thank you very much for that. We're discussing this topic today because it's Financial Awareness Day. Just so you know, we need you to be aware of this and how to manage your funds, save your funds. You can call us on 0906 2023 907. 0906 2023 907. Mr. Bassy, before we let you go, we still have two questions per se. What does financial freedom mean, and how can individual achieve it? You know, gaining financial freedom. How can individual achieve it?
Oh, financial freedom, that's everybody's goal, isn't it?
Yes.
Right. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of discipline and a lot of consistency that you have to put into a particular strategy to multiply your funds, and then it gets you there, right? If you have an income, find ways to multiply that sources, find a way to make that money work for you. And
so it's a lot of discipline. It's not just something you can say, okay, I'm doing this, like forcefully. You just want to do it. You have to discipline yourself and do it consistently, okay?
With your money, right? You just don't... discipline, as simple as the word sounds, it's a lot to get people to determine to not waste their funds. A lot of people waste their money and they don't realize that they are doing that, right? And that's the precursor to actually getting to bad debts. You start taking loans that you don't need and the rest of it. So financial freedom means you have the desired lifestyle. You want to be this way. And then you have to carefully save, invest, multiply your funds to getting yourself there. And that requires a whole lot of discipline and consistency over a determined investment line or business line to get to the point where, you're free, right? And then, of course, let's even break it down a little bit. Financial freedom is different from financial independence, right?
Financial freedom is different from financial independence.
Yes. So
what's the difference?
The difference is financial independence is you can fix your needs by yourself without having to call for help on anything. And that's the first level you want to get to, right? Where you plan your finances yourself, build it to the point where you don't need to call anyone to say, help me get through this level first. And then once you get to that point, then you start multiplying your income, your businesses and all the rest of it to the point where, of course, you now have enough to say that, I'm free. I can buy a laptop in Lagos and go to Sao Paulo the next day to buy the charger. Right? So people will do that. So they could say they are free, right? But you just slip in and knowing money is working for you without having to move your hands, right?
Thank you very much. I feel like a millionaire just listening to you right now. Okay, so how can individuals overcome financial challenges and setbacks?
Oh, man.
This one is hot.
Yes. There are different ways to do that. Individuals. So overcoming financial challenges, you need to understand what took you there. Why? How did you get into the mess in the first place?
True.
Right. And once you understand what took you there, how you got into that mess, and then that's critically analyzing that situation, and then you can now find the right ways to take you out of it. So there are different reasons, different ways, and how people get to that position, and that's why I can't give a direct response.
Okay.
Because it's different solutions to different problems, right? So once you determine what took you there, if it is bad debts, you find ways to analyze your bad debts and find ways to talk to your lender or whatever to restructure your finances and say, I'll pay you these loans in this level till I'm out of this debt, right? So if it is your lack of discipline, you tell yourself the hard truth, you're making a mistake with your life, you're buying things you don't need, and you have to stop, right? You do that, right? So it depends on what took you there, and then you can then find ways to get out of it. And of course, a lot of ways. Just make sure that you are actually spending money on what you need than what makes you feel you know how they say you're spending money to look good for people who don't care about you. You know what I mean? Right. So a lot of people do that without realizing it. I just want to buy clothes just so my neighbor can say that I have arrived, right? And then, so you just have to make conscious decisions that puts you on the right path. As just instead of trying to make everybody happy that you're looking good for them, you know.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bassy. Now, as we go, how can financial mistakes be avoided?
Well, I think it's a sort of summary of what we've been saying,
Yes.
right? Financial mistakes means you don't have knowledge of what you're putting your money into, and you didn't critically analyze that investment or that business before you put your money in, or before you spend that money. So before you spend the next money, just ask yourself, what do I understand about this business? Does it make sense? Do I have full information about what it do here, what it's about? Get that knowledge first. Once you know
Get that
about
knowledge.
once you
Very
know about
important.
it, and then you understand what risk you're taking, and that it helps you make that decision of should I go into this or not. And then I also mentioned, if this business goes down, do I go down? That's a critical. Just ask yourself that. If you say no, move on. Depends on the kind of risk you want to take, right? If 50-50, you're good with this, and it can generate the right income, you can go ahead.
Thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel Bassy. We have been talking with Mr. Emmanuel Bassy. He is the managing director at Assets Microfinance Bank, and we talked about finance today because it's Financial Awareness Day, August 14. We want to say thank you to you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. Please don't say no when next we invite you.
Right.
All right, listeners, keep listening to us. We'll be right back with the final stretch of the show. Don't touch that dial.
Thank you.